Hi everyone, this is Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for joining me in my latest video. We have here a patient who attended with a really blocked and impacted left ear, and this earwax impaction extends right from the entrance, and you can normally tell when we're at the entrance of the ear because of all the hairs. So the outer third of the ear canal, the cartilaginous portion, the middle layer of skin, the dermis, contains hair follicles, which are only present in the outer third of the ear canal. The skin that lines the inner two thirds, the bony part, it only has the outer layer of skin, the epidermis, where there's no hair follicles. So whenever you see hair like this protruding from the canal wall, you know you're on the cartilaginous portion. In addition, where right near the entrance to the right here, so on the posterior canal wall of the entrance, that's where the majority of the hairs are in the ear. So that's another good key landmark to know whereabouts you are in the ear. So if you're watching this video or other videos and you're wondering how deep the wax is, that's probably one of the first landmarks that you look for. Now, this patient has got quite a narrow, bendy ear canal, and the wax, as you will see, it's really compressed and impacted. It's solidified. And what I'm trying to do is bring it down off the roof of the ear canal wall, but it's so stubbornly attached that it's not really moving much, even when I'm forcing it with the instrument. So I've decided to go to the back part of the ear canal, and you may have seen the wax lift off the canal wall slightly. And where I am now, here at the bottom, this is narrowing the patient's gut. It's a very deep valley and the wax is trapped in there. It's just beyond the second bend of their ear canal. And so I'm just trying to stretch the ear open a bit more. This is again at the floor of the ear canal. I'm trying to lift it up and release it from the base of the ear canal wall. But in addition to it being really impacted, it's got this thick layer of skin that's enveloped the wax plug. And this skin is also attached itself to the canal wall. So the skin that's enveloped the wax plug was originally at one time lining the canal wall. As there's a layer of epithelial skin cells which forms the epidermis, the outer layer of skin. And the epidermis skin, it dies, it sheds, and it's replaced by an underlayer of epidermis skin. So when the skin dies in the ear, it normally, in most instances, migrates outwards out of the ear. Naturally, it's a phenomenon unique to our ears, where we have sideways migration of dead skin cells, and our ears have evolved to have that ability. Otherwise, everyone's ears would be full of dead skin. But in this patient, that skin, it's just enveloped itself around the wax plug. I'm trying to go to the roof of the ear canal there with the Jobson horn, trying to bring it away, but it just wasn't enough space there. And the only way I could have used the Jobson horn really now is to embed it into the wax plug itself. But by doing that, you could push it further in and it'd be uncomfortable. So I've just gone back to performing microsuction, and I'm just wriggling it left to right, just trying to loosen it a bit more. And I feel like I'm getting some traction now. I can feel the wax plug moving. It's loosening its grip against the canal wall, so the canal wall has got less of a hold of it, and I'm going back again. So I'm just working on the southern hemisphere here at the moment, just loosening it all the way around. You can see that the wax plug to the left has got quite a few hairs, and I don't think these hairs are protruding out of the ear canal wall. They look like trimmed hairs, and I did notice the patient, it was the tragus, so the triangular piece of cartilage just outside the entrance of the ear, where we, as men, and I can vouch for that, typically have loads of hairs. I could tell on this patient they had been trimmed, and it's likely that once they were trimmed, they were loose and they flew into the ear canal, and it's matted against the wax. So I really had no choice now. I go to get the hook in, I'm trying to go to the roof of the ear canal, and although the hook has, as you saw there, removed a substantial piece of wax, the plug's still there, but nonetheless, the hook has helped to break up the wax plug, dissect it, which then means when I go back in with the suction probe, as you can see, it's hopefully going to come away a bit easier, and already I can sense it is. So sometimes an ear hook, although we would like it to extract the plug, you can sometimes use it in conjunction with other instruments like microsuction just to break the wax plug up. When you break it up, that impaction, the compression, because this wax plug was it's forcing itself, compressing against the side of the ear canal walls, which then makes it difficult to extract out of the ear because it's friction. So when you slice it into the hook, you're breaking down that compression. There's less pressure against the canal walls, less friction, less adherence, less interference, which then means you can bring the wax plug out. I'm just deciding to go to the floor of the ear canal here. At that point where the patient did find it slightly uncomfortable, you may have seen the patient twitch slightly, so I decided to not focus on that particular part there for a moment, and instead I've gone back to the back part of the ear canal. You can see that coating of skin. It's just releasing itself. So we're probably 2/3 of the way there. And I've just gone to the roof of the ear canal. I'm going to just slowly bring this down. I'm just tucking it slowly. So we almost kind of rocked and rolled this plug out of the ear, this last final plug that was deep in the ear. The eardrum's visible. They have got some residual wax around the edge. Is it a necessity to remove? No. There is some at the floor, which I am going to try and move because this is probably a bit more than I would like. It's a thicker layer, but it was stuck. It's almost had a caramel consistency, so it was stuck to the floor of the ear canal. And this is a very sensitive region of the ear. And if you just look to the right, you can see the patient's ear canal slightly swollen there because of the impaction. It's slightly bulging to the right and also slightly to the left, either side. There's very small amounts of inflammation, edema, swelling. It's a bit red, so that's where the wax plug was compressed. I've just put some olive oil, medical grade spray in the ear just to soften this last bit of wax. I'm just going to hover over, and I was thinking at this point just to leave it because it wasn't coming away, but you'll see in a moment it then, as I was about to exit the ear coming away, I would have just suctioned the residual oil before coming away. And it will be in a moment. There we are. And I was then able to extract the rest. There's a little ditch here. The patient had a little trench, a little basin. And the wax just got trapped there. You can see it's quite red where it is. I've decided to just leave the rest. We don't want to... A patient's ear was a bit sensitive. And they could hear again. And that's why they came. So they were very pleased. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes difficult for me because I do like things to be as good as possible, but over the years I've had to accept that sometimes it's best just to leave and not to feel bad afterwards. I used to feel horrible if I can't remove every little aspect, but a lot of it's intentional. We decide to leave that on purpose because there's no point. You've got to weigh up the risk and benefit ratio. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Take care, keep well, and speak soon. Bye.